Gusts of wind are assaulting my third-story window as I write this. I'm just rising from sleep. No food, no calories at all. I fed the kitties before anything. Don't want them bothering me. The task at hand is the most important I have today. My food can wait. This task takes top priority in my life. I understand that the world is becoming a much harder place for the average man, and despite my various eccentricities, I am quite average. 2 jobs hold up my apartment along with my girlfriend. Lots of anxiety to succeed, crippling social media habits, yet I'm grateful for another day to walk this earth, to breathe the precious air. I've been given another day while others died in their sleep last night. People who by many other metrics are far healthier than I. Yesterday, I made a graceless escape into the virtual world of the Terminid Front. That's the video you saw yesterday. That's the footage. Yes, you can say the videos are my top priority, but there's something so backwards about that. Rising from sleep only to be met with a false reality. I like this way better. My videos aren't all about the gameplay. I was put on this earth to spread a message decorated with hope and love. I like telling people what I've learned from my journey. I don't want to be the only one benefiting from what I've been learning all my life. Being on both sides of the fence offers a valuable perspective that the people deserve to hear. Whether or not they will listen is completely up to them. We still live in a time where differing opinions are given out for free, and there's nobody to stop us from voicing them. At least not yet. It's become very apparent to me that what we have in this country is unique and fleeting. We could lose grasp on it at any time. I'm starting to recognize that the more important you become, the less freedom of speech you seem to have. Your words can quickly become tools of war, depending on where you stand. The average person can hurl all the insults all they want at whoever sits in the Oval Office, but nobody will truly care until that average person stops being average. When they have a certain amount of power and influence, there comes other powerful people who hold differing beliefs, who will use their resources to silence, imprison, or even assassinate those who go against their interests. The average person doesn't need to worry about that now, but it's certainly possible that they will need to worry in the near future. As I said, life for the average person is getting harder. That's why it's imperative that we rise above the average. The previous pandemic showed us the unstable nature of our jobs. A lot of the hard work we put out there is deemed not essential to the functioning of this nation, and the help we get for suddenly losing these jobs will likely be lackluster. Anyone without a well-established standing in the economy will likely fall through the cracks. Many of these jobs lost during COVID are not coming back. Were we to endure another emergency, those without any financial power would likely turn to the military out of desperation. I wouldn't put it above the government to attempt an unofficial draft like that. Even if we get stimulus checks, once we open up again, it would be the same story as 2020. We'd be returning to a massively broken economy and people who need to take whatever they can get, any job that's laid before them. We'd be corralled back to our jobs before we could use the precious rest time to understand just how bad the average person's situation really is. This is one of the many reasons we want to raise ourselves above the average. Yes, I understand that if enough people take my message to heart, then we'll just raise the bar for what average is. This, of course, is an ideal scenario. I want the American people to be stronger. The only reason the rich and powerful can do whatever they please is because they divide us on many different fronts. The media has now become social, and there are algorithms to find out exactly who you are. what your race, sex, and nationality is, and to use the information to essentially tell you who or what to be angry at. Every narrative you can think of has been meticulously crafted in the average person's digital space. Hatred for men, hatred for women, hatred for immigrants, hatred for the families who've been here for generations. The Democrats, the Republicans, black people, white people, Hispanics, Muslims, Christians, Jews. The hate is all-encompassing, but people seem to get cold feet more than most when the hate is directed at the rich. I try my absolute best not to hate anybody, but this dichotomy has interesting implications. It's almost as if money is the most influential tool in the world, which is why you should want more. It's become clear to me that those with massive wealth have altered the American culture in a way to glorify their standing and pressure the youth to see money as the only worthwhile goal. The Christian values which this nation was founded on is quickly slipping to the wayside of the collective consciousness, aside from scathing and ill-informed criticisms. The value of money is obvious to me, but it does not hold precedent over the values such as love and understanding of one another. If we throw away our humanity for the almighty dollar, then it is an ill-gotten gain. There are millionaires out there that would give it all away in a second if they could just see their parents one last time. If they could piece together their family again. If they could only hold eye contact with their children without turning away out of shame. The wealth is a means to an end. Always. The number in my bank account is not going to equate to quality time with my family. I refuse to be the pack mule like so many traditional masculine husbands. Yes, it's a noble sacrifice, but it is no longer necessary. I worked in packing warehouses in my past, and the same story for every single delivery driver I worked with was underscored with regret, misery, missed planned birthday parties, little league games, barely any romantic outings with the ones they're supposed to be committed to, constant feelings of paranoia, because deep down, they understand how the bond with their wife has been weakened over time, and she's more likely to look for that connection elsewhere, now that they barely see each other. This is not the idealized vision of old times, where a man would go off to fight a noble war to defend his homeland, while his beautiful feminine wife stayed home and remained faithful. This is nothing of the sort. It's digitized. It's an enslaved existence for the layman of today. You will be run through the program like they want you to follow. They will spit you out when they're done with you, and you will be no better for it at all. There's no honor in keeping this machine churning. It lacks the basic dignity of working fields or smelting ore for your tight-knit community of 500 plus people. The companies we work for are so massive that our minds are unable to quantify the difference we're making in anyone's lives. We don't see people walking around and using the bucket we smith to give children baths. We don't see the sewn clothing, blankets, and accessories we had made to help the community brave the cold months. I understand that this lifestyle is still possible, but tell me, dear viewer, does this sound like your life? Or are you sounding more like an unnecessary sacrifice? Feeling outside yourself in the workforce is an all-too common sensation for the average person. This is why a call to action is needed. Insist upon your own unique creations. Let the world see your fingerprint on everything you produce. Now is not the time to be a mindless consumer. We need to make some sort of name for ourselves before it is simply too late. And no, it does not need to make you money. It most certainly can, but even if it does, it's too important for our sanity that we exercise our individualism every single day of our lives. To fight back against the hell world they would put us through without a second thought, so that the wealthy would remain wealthy and in the place of the feudal lords of old. If we remain mindless employees who all act the same, think the same, and consume with no production at all, we will not only lose our humanity, but we will be at the whim and mercy of the employer without a pebble to stand on. The most powerful position to be in when negotiating is the ability to walk away. Without it, there's no negotiation, just compliance to demands. Now is the time to walk away. This is the time to climb out of our endless survival. It will not be an easy journey for a lot of you, I know. I know your particular skill probably won't yield immediate income, but as I said, it's imperative to at least make room for it. It will fill you with confidence and energy. Everything you've been missing. Believe me, fight for your soul. And with that, I'll see you in the next video.